Good morning. This is Creative Moments. It's Tuesday, June 23rd. It's a rainy day. We have woken up to rainy days several days this week. I'm about ready for the rain to be gone, get back to sunny skies. I want to share with you some of the stuff that I've been playing with this last week. Alcohol drips with acrylic painting. This one is quite gorgeous. You may not be able to see exactly what's going on here, but it's got some nice movement. It's got some nice color. Sometimes you get lucky and things work out the way you want them to go. This is the first one, and this one's really too big for the whole camera, so you probably are getting a little bit of this. I need to figure out lighting that gets rid of some of the glare, but this is what we're going to work on today, is putting some acrylic paint down, putting some matte medium on top of it, and then putting some other color down, dripping some alcohol, and then working on the negative space. So, the way we get started with that is and I did this half in the dark this morning, and I used a new brush, and I got tons of brush hairs on this. I don't think it's going to show up as we go through this process, but it's a little bit annoying. I've tried a lot of different colors. Right now, I am basically working with yellow and gold undertones. So this is a yellow. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is your base layer. So I started with this, just spread it on there. And then in order to make this stay as our under, I have put matte medium. And I know this may be backwards for y'all, but this is Liquitex matte medium. It's just something to create a kind of a barrier for the next things that we're going to be doing. So, with that being said, I'm going to use some of the teal color paint that I have. This is kind of it's a pretty wet process. It's a pretty fast process. So, I'm gonna have to stand up for this. So, I was playing earlier, and I believe that my paint got a little dry. So, okay. So this is just Liquitex Cobalt Teal in a tube. You can also use the craft paints if you want to try it out with those. I've used those on some of those bigger ones. So this needs to be kind of wet. So I'm putting it on my palette. And I got some dried up scrunchie right there. Not a hair scrunchie, I'm just saying it's crud from paint drying. So, I'm gonna mix this up. It's not quite as thick as I'd want it to be. Let's see, let's put a little bit more paint in there. As most of y'all who join me week after week have seen, I'm kind of a messy, in the moment, immediate result kind of person with my art. So we're going to go with this, and we're just going to spread this on here. Like I said, the paint has to be wet when we put the alcohol on. So that's why but you don't want it to really puddle. So it needs to be wet. But we don't want water standing on the canvas. I've done that a couple of times, and I've had to just wipe it all off. because you don't really get any effect. See, you can still see some of that yellow underneath there, but we do have this color on top. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's actually better if you don't necessarily have paint strokes. Okay, now I have isopropyl alcohol. I have 99%. That's what I've been using. I special order that, but my understanding is you can just use regular alcohol if you can find it in stores. So I dip my paintbrush in there, and I keep doing that, and I don't exactly like that movement, and I'm just going to tell you I'm mad at myself for doing it, even though you can really see how it does that. Usually, I'm trying to teach y'all better, but I usually just use my fingers. It's pretty drying, so I have to make sure that I, wash my hands and put some, but you can see that the alcohol separates the blue paint and lets the yellow show through. So that's really kind of pretty, but that's not the final step. So we're gonna set that over here. We're gonna let that start to dry. And I'll just say that wherever the paint is pooling, you can see you lose your cells, your separation. It just kind of goes into a wet. I don't particularly mind that so much at this stage because that allows the concentration of color. And this is one that I actually put a gold paint. I use this gold, old gold. I think I would prefer to have probably a more brilliant gold under there, but I've had that old gold for a long time. I don't even know why I have it. So it's been fun to play with it in this regards. So I had the old gold down there. I put the matte medium over the gold. I then painted my teal over that, sprinkled it, hit it with the alcohol, created some separation, some of the movement that I wanted. And now I'm going to do it again. I've put binder over it again so that I can save. No, I haven't put binder over it again. Sorry. I can't remember where I am in all the steps I'm working on so many pieces. So I'll show you. I put this matte medium, just pour out a little bit, and then you just spread it. The more layers that you do, the more deeper and more luscious it feels. I've been working on these small canvases. Once again, I want to use this color combination on a bigger canvas. I was really brave. Michael's had their canvases 75% off, and I bought some fairly large canvases. So I don't want to experiment on those. I don't want to have to waste a lot of paint. So, and I ran out of my canvas boards, and I actually kind of like creating some of these smaller canvases. You can frame these. Oops. Man, I have hairs everywhere in my house right now. Dog hairs. So, you just put a quick layer of that over there. We're going to let this dry. In order to speed up that process, I'm going to hit it with my I'm going to hit it with my use a hairdryer to speed that up for y'all. Normally I would just set, I would set this one to the side and I would pull over another one that I was working on. So now the process that I've been working on is that I'm going to put black over this now. So as you can see, this is just a craft paint. I could also use this soft body paint. You just have to, the only thing that I wouldn't use is heavy body. I tried that. There are certain paints that this method just doesn't work as well with. Let's see. Which brush am I going to use? I'm going to use a crappy brush. Okay, so I need to water this down. So spritz some water on there. This is a little bit more liquid already. And it's not as liquid as I want it, so let me just spray this. And I have to go to my voicemail. I got a new phone. I think I finally got everything taken care of on that phone. Okay, now I'm going to try this again with the alcohol. I'm going to take a little bit off of there, and I'm going to do this on here, and you can see the magic start happening, and those blues and the gold comes sparkling through. I got little drips, I got bigger drips. Make sure you get all your corners. I am going to share in the comments one of my favorite artists who uses this technique. Her name is Gerda Lipsky. She does some amazing stuff. All of her stuff is in a different language. I'm not really sure what language it is. So I just put up closed caption. And it actually helps me to read instead of listen sometimes when I'm trying to figure it out. But then you also have to deal with some of the different, if they're in a different country, they use different materials, so you have to kind of do some research to figure that out. Now, I only with these last two started putting just a black on there. It's something that I'm trying. The others that I've worked with didn't have black. They had like more of a dark blue. Gold was a little wet. I didn't actually do the negative painting. Then I started messing with it with my fingers. I really liked the way this one came out. Now I'm just like, am I going to be able to do this on a bigger canvas? Now, on this one, I wasn't that happy with some of the things that I pulled out. You may be able to see them in here. They were not as well defined. So I took a small paintbrush and I mixed kind of a bluish gray, and then I just started painting around these and pulling them out. Sometimes I think I go a little too far, pull out a little more than I need. So this is definitely a technique that I want to keep trying to perfect. Now, one of the things is that when I got the cells identified that I wanted to keep, I took a Q-tip, dipped it in water, and was able to kind of scrub some of the cells to make them more identifiable, to take off a little paint. And you can still do this until you varnish it. I forgot, I already varnished this one. It's not going to work on this one. But anyway, so there you have it this morning. Like I said, some different ways to play with some different techniques. You can use brighter colors than what I'm using, like you saw with the yellow and the turquoise. That's pretty bright. If I didn't have this shape in there, it's worm shape, I might be happy with that. What I may go in and do is try to paint negative space on this one to kind of create something else on there. But these are things that you can play with. Children can do these. You just might want to, supervise them since there is alcohol involved. But like I said, with the two larger ones that I did, you can, you can make something abstract. It's all about happy accidents sometimes with this. I'm going to have to figure out if this worm shape is a happy accident or not. Somebody may love that. You never know. But I also have a paint hair right there. So anyway, I hope this brightened up your Tuesday morning. Or whenever you're watching this. Please remember, it is Summer Reading Challenge at the library. Sign up if you haven't already. Start earning those challenges and getting the drawings for all kinds of wonderful prizes. And that Summer Reading Challenge is from birth to rocking chair. So anyway, next time I see you will be in July. Have a happy Tuesday. Love you. We will see you later.